evening, everyone, and welcome to the National Conference to Support Early Childhood Development. Today's topic is going to focus on parental involvement at school and at home. I am your presenter, Miss Marika Mohan. So, first things first, we are going to discuss the purpose of this study. And this study was done to identify the critical roles parental involvement plays in a child's holistic development. And when we speak about holistic development, we are talking about physically, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. The study was also done to identify parental involvement, the part parental involvement plays in the family and school when both the schools and the parents continuously support and encourage the children's learning and development. The information was collected through interviews done with several parents over a period of time. As a result, questionnaires were designed in order to gather this information around the parents' involvement in their child's or their children's life. We are going to now look at an overview of parental involvement. And parental involvement in almost any form produces measurable gains in students' achievement. The concept of parental involvement involves the parents' involvement with students and the school, which is considered to be a vital one and can produce great rewards for all that are concerned. Hence, according to Henderson and Burler, the most accurate predictor of a student's achievement in school is not income or social status, but the extent to which parents are involved or is able to provide or create a home environment that encourages learning, express high but not unrealistic expectations for children's achievement and future careers, and finally become involved in their children's education at school and in the community at large. So now we are going to look at what is parental involvement. And according to Laban, parental involvement is a combination of the parents' commitment and active participation to the school and the student. Parental involvement is also reported parent participation at least once during the school year in attendance to general meetings. It is also attending a scheduled meeting with a child's teacher. It also involves attending school events, and finally volunteering, having parents volunteer their services in school or on a school committee. The importance of parental involvement. And according to Child Trends 2013, students and parents who are involved in their school tend to have fewer behavioral problems and perform better academically, which those students are more likely to complete high school in comparison to students whose parents are not involved in their school. Thus, the importance of parental involvement includes, but it is not limited to, allowing parents to monitor school and classroom activities. It is allowing parents to coordinate their efforts with teachers to encourage acceptable classroom behavior and ensure that the child completes their schoolwork. With parental involvement, teachers are able to identify at a very early stage any problems that may inhibit students' learning. Positive parent-teacher interaction has also been found to positively affect teachers' self-esteem, it boosts their morale, etc. And finally, students perform better in school if their fathers and mothers are involved, and this is regardless of whether the both parents live together under the same household. Some benefits of parental involvement include the children tend to achieve more regardless of ethnicity, racial background, socioeconomic status, etc. Children's self-esteem are boosted, thus they are a lot more self-disciplined. Fewer children are placed in special education or remedial classes. Parents increase their interaction and discussion with their children where, the line of communication is open, is an open one, and it flows freely. Thus, parents will tend to be a lot more responsive to their children's social, emotional, and intellectual developmental needs. When parents are aware of what children are learning, it encourages them or gives them enthusiasm to help or get more involved in their children's active learning activities at home. Also, teachers and principals will tend to acquire a better understanding of family belief, cultures, and moral. Thus, both parties form a deeper respect for the parents' ability and time. Also, schools that actively involve parents and the community tend to establish better reputations in the community. The research context. Well, the parents interviewed, there was a total of 5 parents interviewed, and they came from different backgrounds, socioeconomic status, and different education levels. These parents were from urban communities. 2 of them follow the Catholic religion, whilst the other 3 follow the Presbyterian religion. 4 were nationals of Trinidad and Tobago, whilst the other was a non-national. We found parents that were married, single, divorced. They came from different family types. Some came from extended families, some were nuclear families. A description of the sample. So like I mentioned before, a total of 5 parents were interviewed. And this is just a sample of the participants involved. For example, Mr. Morris, male, age 35, African, he's self-employed. He's a father of 2. He came from a nuclear family and he's married, and he has strong religious background. Then we are going to look at parent number 2, again, another male, 36, of African descent. He is an HSC officer and is a father of 1 boy, divorced, strong religious background, and came from an extended family. Let's take a look now at some of the female that were interviewed. So we are going to look at Miss Muhammad, age 33, single, East Indian. She's self-employed, a mother of 1 boy, age 6, divorced. Again, strong religious background and came from an extended family. So these are just an example, like I mentioned before, of the participants that were interviewed. Parent number 5, nuclear family, mother of 2, strong religious background, strict in religious values and morals, and the children were expected to follow suit. The presentations of the findings. Now, the interview process, it was a very interesting one in that, the parents, they came from different family types, different ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and whatnot. Throughout the interview, what was noticeable was that most, if not all, the individuals had similar challenges, and that was wanting to spend more time with their kids. Most of the parents were fully involved in some aspect of their children's life, both at school and at home. However, it was noted that the males, they felt that more could be done on their behalf as far as being actively involved in their child or children's life. Again, religion and culture, this is what I noticed, that both played an important part in all of the families. And the children, again, they were expected without doubt, without question, to follow suit. The males interviewed, they did value family time, but they agreed, the both of them, that special time with family is always needed. They also believe that it is beneficial to be involved in their children's life because it is their duties as fathers, and it is important that these children know that they take their duties as fathers very seriously. They also seem to stay in communication and had an easygoing relationship with teachers. One father probably was in contact with his son's teacher once for the week. And where they themselves could not be in communication with the teachers, again, this is where the extended family came in. So you'll find that at least the grandmother or the grandfather will be in constant communication with the teachers. That's like when they go to pick up the child from school or any extracurricular activities and whatnot. Overall, parental involvement is important to each and every one of these parents, and they are all actively involved in their children's life. This is just a presentation of the findings. This was done, again, these were the overall responses done based on the interview that was done with the parents. I should say all of the parents were actively involved in their child's life. They all thought that it was beneficial for them to be involved. Participation in education at school and at home, again, because of time constraints, some of them weren't actively involved or had a hands-on approach as far as, the education at school or even at home. The discussion of the findings. So a number of research and evidence suggests that parents play a key role in their children's educational development, and hence there is a requirement for both the schools and the parents to work together for the benefit of the child. And according to the Belfast Education Library Board, in the early years, parental involvement has a significant impact on a child's cognitive and literacy and number skills. Educational failures increase by lack of parental interest in schooling, and in particular, a father's interest in a child's schooling is strongly linked to educational outcomes for the said child. Using Bronfenebro's ecological systems theory, which provided a framework for which situates individual development in the context in which it occurs, the child develops not in isolation, but through relationships within the family, neighborhood, community, and the society at large. The discussions of findings continue. So, 2 research questions were asked, and that is, how are these parents involved in their child or children's holistic development? Some parents were involved through helping with homework and school projects. Others impacted their knowledge, cultures, and values onto the children, communicating with teachers on a regular basis. One parent even mentioned that they used the social media to communicate with the teachers, seeing that they could not physically be there sometimes. So what they did is they created a WhatsApp group in order to be in constant communication with the child's teachers. They were, again, involving extracurricular activities, play dates, school events, community activities, and even spending one-on-one time with the child. They attended PTA meetings on a regular basis, and they volunteered in the classrooms when necessary. Research question 2, which what factors impact or affect these parents' involvement in the holistic development of their children? And what I found was that, again, the main one was working long or extra hours. Also, parents own some of them would have had a negative experience of education, thus causing them to have low self-esteem, thus resulting in a lack of enthusiasm in becoming involved in their children's education, lack of parental support system by the schools, families, socio-economic status, schools not having a welcoming environment that is engaging for families, and not having a diverse staff in the school. And what is meant by this is having a diverse staff in an early childhood setting that is reflective of a population has a great deal to do with trust when it comes to families. Because what you find happening is that parents will feel, a little more comfortable and be able to engage in situations with staff members that are representative of their culture. They feel a lot more open to discuss, whatever whatever is going on with the child as far as school or at home. Conclusion. So, based on my research, based on interviews with parents, what I have found is that parental involvement, it does have a positive effect on the children, on the children, families, and school when both the parents and the school continuously support and encourage children's learning and development. Parental involvement in a child's schooling for a child is more powerful than family background, size of family, and level of parental education. Thus, based on my own finding, it was clear to see that even though parents agreed that yes, they needed to make an extra effort to spend time with their children, they did in fact face a lot of challenges in doing so. It was also very clear to me that parental involvement has a significant impact on children's development. It can definitely benefit the students in question, but what is important to note is that it can also benefit the teachers, the school, the parents themselves, and the community, as well as other children in the family. I believe that everything possible should be done by the school system to encourage parents to become more active members or become more involved in their children's lives, in their children's learning, both in school and at home. Here are just the references. If you would like, you all can get a copy of this so that you can do further research and find out a lot more about parental involvement at school and at home. Okay. So attached there is also a description of the interview schedule that you all can have a look at after, and maybe ask a few questions. Any questions or comments are welcome, so feel free to ask any questions. My name again is Marika Mohan, and thank you for being involved in this presentation, and I would hope that you walk away learning a little more about parental involvement, its benefits, its importance, not only to you or to the child, but also to the school and to the wider community. Thank you and have a good day.